Hey guys, um, good to see you. It's me, Svavar. I'm just fixing the camera angle a little bit. Then I'm gonna change the view. I think it should change it to. Oh, oops. Yeah. I'm just wondering if I can change the angle to face front. I'm just gonna check if I can do that. Just gonna turn out. How do we do that? I'm really curious. Settings, camera. Yeah, there we go. Back camera. All right. There we go. This is nice. So, I'm driving to the south today from Akureyri, one of my favorite places in the world that I live. So, and I'm playing a gig in Selfoss tonight. Please, if you can hear me, I would love to see you, to hear from you. I can see the comments, but yeah. Okay, so anyway, I have a gig tonight in Selfoss. It's a 6-hour drive, something like that. It's fine. It's a good gig. And sometimes I think it's so crazy living here in Akureyri for the last couple of days. It's been like living in a postcard. I feel like I'm living in a postcard with all the snow, and the trees have been covered with frost because there was this fog that came in and then just insta-froze on everything. It was beautiful. Anyway, so I'm going south to Reykjavik now, and I'm going to pick up my new album. It's coming out in April, but it's already there. It's already at my label, and I can't wait to get it into my hands. Ahoy Side B. And the vinyl, I think, will be ready in April, and I'm really excited about that. So I'm really looking forward to it. I hope you can all hear me. I have no idea if you can hear me or if anything's going on. It doesn't matter. I've had a lot of conversations with other artists lately, and we've been talking that there's less and less engagement with videos and with posts on Facebook and social media. I don't know what it is. Well, I know what it is, but I can't prove it. You know, those big social media companies just basically make it harder and harder for normal artists to get, hey, takk fyrir þetta, the John, for normal artists to get any kind of exposure and engagement, you know. So that's scary, you know, because, you know, we all want to have a connection and a community with our listeners and our audience, you know. But what can we do except just to continue existing and playing and singing and, and trying to reach out to you? So that's all we can do. I hope the car noise isn't too loud, but it's really weird. Just a couple of minutes ago, like a couple of hours ago, the temperature here changed and it started raining a little bit, and now it's +5, and all of the ice is the snow is melting, turning into ice, and it's very scary to drive when it's like that. It gets much slippier. Wonderful, Stephanie, thank you. So I don't know, like the mountains in front of me, I really love them. I wish the camera showed it better, but it's very hard to to get it properly. So I'm going to be driving up Hörgárdalur and Öxnadalur, which goes up a mountain pass, and the stream is gonna cut for like maybe a couple of minutes on the top of that mountain, but then it'll return in like just a couple of minutes after that, and so it's gonna be okay. Yeah, so I'd really love to talk to you about the new album, and also about like a situation that we've been, you know, artists have been, and not just artists, also venues have been talking about. And I was reading an article that basically explains it, and it's happening all over the world. I'd like to talk to you about that in a couple of minutes. But so yeah, the album is coming out on April 19th, Ahoy Side A, and also the double vinyl Ahoy. It's gonna be a really, really beautiful package. And the design, I'm very happy with the design. It's very just me and basic, and just this, just wrapping up the journey that started with Kvöldvaka and then Ölduslóðin Brot, these 3 albums, and then Ahoy basically is the final part of this voyage, you know. So after that, I don't know what I'll be doing. I might be doing something totally different. But the first single is coming out, well, of course, Januar has come out, and November has come out, and Hope and Fortune and The Tide is Rising, they've all come out before. There's 1 new song left coming out, and then there's 5 Hi Julie, great. I'll see you tomorrow morning at 9, I think. So there's 5 remakes, like the repaintings of older songs, and I really hope you like them. It's Emotional Anorexic and While the World Burns have been totally remade in versions that I'm much more happier with. I finally finally got to do them with my vision, you know. And then there's 3 older songs: Impossible, A Glorious Catastrophe, and Hard Things. These are 3 songs that I always wanted to kind of bring more into. Hello, Daniela. Hi. Bring more into my my kind of style, that closer to what I'm philosophically about, you know. So it's a 10 song album coming out, and the first like in the 3 single release kind of run until the album comes out. The first single comes out just next Friday, I think, on the 23rd of February, and it's While the World Burns repainted. And I'm really, really excited about that one, because I got to work with a wonderful Norwegian singer called Helena Buxle, and she has an amazing voice, and she really got the song, which I thought was so cool. She really got. I wish we could have like gotten together and made like a Don't Give Up Peter Gabriel, Kate Bush type of video for it. That would have been really cool. But you know, when you're poor, you can't exactly afford stuff like that. So we're just gonna have to make do with what we have now. Oh my God. Okay. I'm just realizing something wrong with the car, but okay, let's hope it will get me to Selfoss and back. That would make me very happy. So, yes. Hi, Hilmar. Gaman að sjá þig. So, what I wanted to talk to you about, maybe I'll talk a little bit later. Look, now we're going up and see that mountain. Oh, you can't see it. Oh, in a minute you'll see it. There's a lot of beautiful mountains around here. This is the valleys, down like kind of not south. I'm actually going like southwest, and then I'm gonna be going west. It's almost like, for a while, it's almost like going north. You have to go north out of Akureyri and then go around this little mountain and go again south. So that's interesting. Yeah. So we have to go down this valley. It's called Öxnadalur, and up Öxnadalsheiði, which is the heath of Öxnadalur, which is one of the most shitty mountain roads you have to drive in Iceland. And it's kind of like a big threshold. It makes it so, like, you really don't want to leave Akureyri, you know, because it's just such a hassle to drive it. And it's often in the winter, it's really hard to drive it. You know, it's lots of snow or ice. And there we can see the patrol, you know, fixing everything. Always very good. Yeah, now we're driving. You can see the mountains there in the distance. It's so nice. Hello, Mandy. Hey. Yeah, almost midnight. Oh my God. Yeah, I look forward to coming to Australia. So I'm going to Australia in February, and I'll be doing a little tour of Victoria and the south of New South Wales. And I'll do one show in Tasmania, in Hobart. I'll pop by in Hobart, like stay for one night and then fly back to Melbourne. I'm basically just burning money. It's I make less money off the gig than it costs to fly to Hobart, but I have really good friends there that I wanted to visit. I didn't want to fly all the way to Australia and just skip visiting my friends in Tasmania, just because it would be a little bit more expensive to fly. But then I'll come back from Australia in April. I'll stay in Iceland for like 2 weeks, and then I will go back to Europe on tour. Hey Lorna, hi. Oh yeah, oh, very nice. I might want to put the chords up there, maybe. Yes, so I'll be going on a European tour in April, May, and then basically that's the release tour of Ahoy. And I'm so happy the CDs are ready. The vinyl is getting printed now, and so it's all coming out. I'm so happy that life is it's all coming together. It's been a bit of a trip to get there, but I thought it's better to just do it in its own time than to, you know, rush it, you know. And I don't like this this idea that artists should release an album every year or 2 years. Like, why? Would people like me to write songs that are not good or rushed, you know? Like, oh no, you have to write all these songs. Like, why? I write songs about things that matter to me. Why would I start to write more songs than things that matter to me? You know, if I think about something and I think, oh, this is something I want to sing about, then I write a song about it. But I'm not going to write 7 songs about the same thing, except breakups. I like breakup songs, but they have to be positive. Breakup songs have to be very positive, not negative. I don't know why. That's my philosophy. I don't think negative breakup songs are helpful at all or productive. When am I going back to Scotland? Oh my God, I really want to come back to Scotland. I don't know. I don't have a plan. I do have friends there that would like to help me book, so that would be great. And I'm looking forward to that. But I'm focusing right now on the Australian and European part. Oh, and I'll be doing a little bit of a Scandinavia thing in November, I think, at least Sweden and Norway. And that's in the plans. And there's a September-October tour as well in Europe that's being booked. So it's all getting there. Hi, Katrin. Hi, great to see you. So what I wanted to talk to you about, like, it's really weird. Like 6 years ago, I was doing live streams like this, just about anything, just playing guitar and talking or something, and there would be like 150 people on the stream. But now there's 17, and I don't think I'm doing any worse. I mean, this is nice stuff. I think there's like there's been a change in social media that they don't let people, like, they don't inform anyone of your fans and the audience and community so well. That's a real strange situation. But and it's part of this whole development. You know how in and here's what I wanted to talk to you guys about. You know, in food, in restaurant business, you know, capitalism has managed to make it so that if you like hamburgers, you can have McDonald's or you can have Burger King, and like 80% of all burger consumption is these two restaurants. And if you like pizza, it's Domino's or Pizza Hut, and 80% of pizza consumption is these two, you know. And if you like tacos, or you know, you can have Chipotle or you can have Taco Bell. And if you like chicken, you can have Chick-fil-A or you can have Kentucky Fried Chicken. It's a very narrow freedom of choice, I would say. And you could say, oh, but there's a lot of local restaurants around. Yeah, you know, unicorn restaurants, of course. But how prosperous are they? The people that own these restaurants, they barely make a living. You know, they can just basically live off it and nothing more. And most of new restaurants go bankrupt, right? So basically what capitalism has managed to do is to reduce your, like the mainstream consumer's field of vision with food down to this, you know, mainstream. And of course, there's always people that, you know, I never eat at those. I only eat at local restaurants that are good, you know. And those people are unicorns. That they are not a factor in the whole economic equation, you know. They don't factor in. They don't matter, really. And now capitalism is doing the same to music. I was reading these articles about the live music business in the world. And in Australia, small music venues, and when we're talking small, it's 1,000 people or less, music venues. And that's a lot of people going to a concert. 1,000 people going to a concert at any kind of band. That's a living. A band can make a living if they play for 1,000 people at a time, like really. And an artist can make a living. I can make a living playing for 100 people at a time. I just need to play a couple of concerts, you know, like maybe 30, 40 concerts. And then I'm set for like a month or two. Yeah, it looks beautiful, doesn't it? This is Oxnadalir. It's absolutely wonderful. And like these venues, the small and medium venues, they have seen a 60 to 80% drop in attendance. So audiences are just, and this is not just because of COVID, it was starting before COVID. It started in 2015 or 16. So what is happening? And there's an explanation, and it's horrible. So basically, but the stadiums, you know, the bigger artists like Beyonce, like Taylor Swift, like Ed Sheeran, and all of these artists, they are getting bigger and bigger, more and more people coming to their concerts. And so they are actually like, that's why Taylor Swift is now a billionaire. She became a billionaire like 10 years ago. She was just like a normal artist, you know, like she was famous, but she wasn't like huge like she is now. Like she wasn't like the GDP of a normal country big, you know. Yeah, it's a beautiful landscape, isn't it, Birgit? It's so amazing driving here. So what has happened is Spotify and the streaming, like mostly Spotify, has this policy on its playlists and its algorithms that they, if you're listening to anything, let's say you're listening to Svavar K, the next thing Spotify recommends is 60% chance a mainstream artist, top 40, big, big artist. And if not, and if you get another recommendation and not that, still the next time there's a 60% chance or something you get a mainstream artist. So Spotify is actively reducing people's exposure to new artists, unknown artists, unfamiliar artists. So people used to listen to radio, and the DJ on the radio may be like, hey, this band is awesome, let's give it, like Bohemian Rhapsody with Queen. A lot of people were introduced to Queen through radio DJs going like, this is crazy, and that's what broke Queen, like they got big. And so basically you have these radio DJs and they would really like something, and their passion would bleed out to the audience, But now you just have this algorithm that is narrowing and narrowing and narrowing your scope of enjoying music. And now I know some of you will say, no, but I select my own music. I select, my algorithm sometimes recommends very strange music to me. Like, yeah, that's, again, unicorns, If you're the type of person that selects your own music, you're a unicorn. And I love you for that. But just like these family restaurants or something, you don't factor into the equation. So basically what's happening is Spotify is turning music into what the fast food industry has turned the restaurant industry into. You know what I mean? So if you like pop, it's either Beyonce or Taylor Swift. If you like rap, it's either Drake or Lil Jon. I don't know, If you like rock, it's either Foo Fighters or whatever, And if you like folk, then it's the Mumford and Sons and done. You don't get anything else recommended. It narrows and narrows. So people actually have no idea about bands that are around, local bands that are touring, or local bands that are playing concerts. They don't have an idea that they exist even, because nobody, there's no word of mouth. There's no radio station giving recommendations. It's just every person within their own little bubble listening to Spotify, and Spotify spoon feeding and slowly choking, narrowing the scope. Do you get me, guys? Do you feel what I'm saying? And I don't know how to fix this. I don't know if there's a way to fix this. I mean, this is not even malicious. They are not being, this is not on purpose. Well, it's on purpose because it's easier. It's just easier. It's less hassle to have a few big artists, Yeah, Nicole, that's right. They should. That's what they should. But I mean, that's what people should do. And that's okay, I'm gonna put you up. People should do that. But people also should consume ethically, but there is no ethical consumption under capitalism. I don't know, but people don't. People just don't do that. People are, I love them, but most people, I'm not talking about you, you're here, you're with me, but you're unicorns. I have to tell you, you guys are unicorns. Most people will never hear about most artists. They will never hear their music. They will never be exposed to amazing artists, because Spotify will keep recommending narrower and narrower scopes of music. And they will, instead of you shaping Spotify's algorithm, Spotify will start to shape you. Like, and the same with Audible, Amazon. Like, they start recommending books in a narrower and narrower scope around what you like and what you. I've noticed this on Audible. I have an Audible subscription listening to audiobooks, and what Audible recommends gets less and less varied with time, which is crazy. And I think we need systematic change. We need a revolution against this somehow, like legal, like legislative, systematic. This is not healthy for humanity. This is not healthy for art, music. Like I've said before, like I would rather have one less Beyonce or Taylor Swift or even Foo Fighters playing a gig for 100,000 people, you know, or Ed Sheeran for 100,000 people in a fucking huge stadium somewhere, and have like 1,000 artists playing for 100 people, or 500 artists playing for 200 people each. You know, can you imagine? Can you imagine how much more diverse and how much more? Because nobody's gonna tell me that everyone that goes to Taylor Swift or Beyonce or Ed Sheeran concerts, like that's exactly what they like, and that's exactly what their particular brain and being wants, you know? It's just, they've been algorithmed into kind of a rut. I don't know. And it's nobody's fault. It's just a weird, development, you know, like we're on autopilot, and people go on autopilot and they just let these things happen to them. Anyone have ideas? Anyone have suggestions what we can do? I mean, now I'm driving this very charming road, and I've been driving now for 27 minutes, and there's still only 16 people watching. And why? It's not because only 16 people would be interested in this. It's because Facebook will not expose more people to this. Not because I'm being political, but just because I'm an artist and they want me to pay for you seeing what I'm doing. I'm gonna level with you. Like I'm releasing my new single on the 23rd of February, and I've already spent like 200 euros or more on Facebook, like ads just to my audience. And for that, I think 200 people have 200, yeah, maybe 200, less than 200 people, because of the ads, have in any way liked or commented or something on that post. That it's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous thing. Oh yes. Oh, you have a wonderful, Laura. You have a wonderful radio station. You have a couple of wonderful, like Radio 1 and Deutschland Radio Kultur. These are pretty good. So now we're going up on the mountain, see? And in a couple of, it's already starting to fade out, that connection. But I'm not, I'm not complaining about this. That's not a complaint. I'm not whining about this. I'm just trying to explain a development that is very dangerous for art, for artists, for anyone that really appreciates music, for anything more than just like the background noise to whatever you're doing right now. For people that really sincerely enjoy music. And I'm really worried that there's going to be just generations now of artists that will not get a chance to shine in front of audiences, in front of people. I mean, I'm lucky I have you guys at least, but like, I feel it's increasingly harder, like, and more expensive and tough to reach the next new person. And I mean, I'm small, I'm still small, and I know my music could matter to a lot of more people, but it just will not be uh, exposing to other people. You know what I mean? And that's what all artists are facing right now, except for like the top 0.01% of artists. Like, it's not even 1% right now. And I'm really worried for the sake of new artists upcoming. And now we are. Yeah, I'm just want to warn you. It's gonna be like a minute or two of no connection for a second. Um, just don't. This is my absolute favorite uh, time of year. Everything is covered in snow. Welcome back. I don't know how long I'll manage to keep, but like, if you have any questions and stuff, I'd love to indulge you. Any questions about whatever? I'd love to chat with you. And also, if you have any kind of ideas of how to reach, I mean, even on Facebook, I have like 20 something thousand followers on my page, but like, realistically, only like 300 of them ever see anything that I'm doing, you know, or know about what I'm doing, which is really weird. It's like 1% of my audience. Ah, Mona, thank you. Thank you very much. Has to listen to it. You don't just listen to it. Fucking, you will listen to Svavar Knuter. Comfort Hobbit folk. Listen and be judged. Yeah, but this is nice though. Look forward to playing tonight. It's a very special gig. I drove south the other day as well. That was so special. There was a man who died, my friend's grandfather, and he had asked, especially, he was like, he admired what I was doing and was really happy with me. So he asked especially for me for his funeral. He knew he was going. So I liked that. That was really special, and I got to sing his favorite song of mine. You know. It's absolutely beautiful. Which kind of wine? Which kind of wine do I drink? Beer. I I drink beer. No, but I do drink wine. Well, white wine I drink Pinot Grigio, and red wine I really like. You know, Piccini. You know, like a rustic Italian red wine. That's I like a rustic Italian. But beer, I'm a beer man. You know, I'm very basic. I really should pass this guy. I don't know. The road is good. It's not as slippery as I thought it would be. I was really worried, but maybe because it was already empty, like it was already cleared. It was okay. Hey Kathleen, I can't see your comment. Maybe that's a picture or something. I don't know. Oh, oh. Yeah, we're in bad touch again. Maybe. Sorry. And I will be meeting with my label and picking up a copy of the new album. Sorry, we're in bad connection country right now. But can you imagine, guys? Like all these small venues are just going bankrupt in Australia. They're just like they're being taxed. They need to have like even more insurance. There's like a lot of weird like more regulations put on them. They have to have like security guards for like a folk concert, which is really funny because you know those folkies, they can get quite rowdy. Um, and but then like yeah, and losing like 60 to 80% of their audience, like a lot of gigs are canceled because people just aren't showing up, you know. Yeah, it was really beautiful this morning. The tops of the mountains were all pink, which I like. But I think it's a little bit too warm right now. It's like over freezing, and it's February still. Iceland should be like, especially in the north of Iceland, should be very cold until April. I don't like it when it's like this. Okay, my dude. Here we go. Yeah, yeah, that's a pity, Matti. And I think it's it's very destructive. Oh, just so you know, I don't know if you know this. There's a recent change. Because like you know that this is an old story about a gambler that was traveling in the west of America in the old times, you know, in the 19th century, 1800s, and he really liked to gamble. So he asked in this town like where he could gamble, and they said, well, in this house there's like this really crooked guy. He always cheats, and he like nobody ever wins at his game, you know, because he cheats and cheats. And then he said, yeah, okay, cool. And then he was going there to gamble. And the people were saying, like, why are you going there? Like, we warned you, this guy is crooked, you know? And he said, I know it's crooked, but it's the only game in town. Have you heard this story? And it's the same with Spotify, you know? I know it's crooked, but it's the only game in town. If you leave it, what's gonna happen? Like, you're even worse off. But there's news I wanted to share with you. You know this page Bands in Town that I've been talking about, Bands in Town? It's where I put my events. I put my events into Bands in Town, and people get notified of them by email, and they get notified through their app. There's a Bands in Town app, and they integrate into your calendar, which is really good. They integrate through your calendar. So you, Google Cal or iCal or something. If you say you're going to a concert of mine or any other artist, the app just puts it into your calendar, so you don't even have to keep the app open or anything. It's on your calendar for the day. You know, which is really cool. And now they've been integrated into Spotify. So when you're on Spotify, and my song comes up, also it will let you know if I have a concert near you, because of Bands in Town. So that's really good. That's a way, if you don't want to miss my concerts, that's a way to be notified, which is cool. Bands in Town is one of the good ones, I think. So if you go to bandsintown.com, the 20 of you who are watching, that would be cool. So now we're coming down from the mountain and we're going on to Skagafjörður. Skagafjörður is my old hometown, home fjord. And I can't show you right now, but the river on the left side is absolutely beautiful because it's still frozen and it's still icy, but the ice is melting and it's just like this shiny ice, and cracking. It's like, because of the power of the water, it's always like it cracks and breaks and moves and transforms a lot, which I think is absolutely marvelous. Oh yeah, they changed Marta. Yeah, they changed. Hi, Jona. Hi. They changed the artist thing in a very bad way. Like, so smaller artists get even less paid now. If you have less than 1,000 streams a year or something on a song, they don't pay for it. So that's even less. So like that's $1 you will not be making. You know, which is just even worse, you know. And they push it up to the bigger artists. And here's another thing, I don't know if you know this about Spotify. You can listen to me all day, almost nothing but me. Like, if I was the only artist you listen to, still most of the money you paid to Spotify would go to Ed Sheeran and Taylor Swift and artists like that, because there's a big pot and they have 99% of the streams in that pot because of the playlist policies of Spotify. So and also because of all the clothing stores and cosmetic stores, you know, that have just playlists running with non-stop mainstream music, which basically drowns out, because you might be listening for like 3 or 4 hours a day max to some music, but these things, they're still running in the night, you know, the playlists in these stores. So they run 24/7 and just generate endless streams for these artists. And so basically, even if you listen only to your favorite artists still, like the most of your money goes still to those mainstream artists, which sucks balls. And I think, like, dude, becoming a billionaire, like, what the hell? Like, that's so weird. And can you think about, and there's another thing to think about. Yeah, I mean, Taylor Swift is now a billionaire, but like, she's the only, like, the first, but like, think about the cultural impact of her work. I mean, really, there's millions and millions of people that listen to her music and enjoy her stuff, you know, but she's still only now becoming a billionaire, you know, like, but there's just idiots, you know, an Icelandic guy that just like kind of buys and sells some stock in some companies, and, you know, doesn't pay some bills, you know, lets some other people go bankrupt because of him. He's now a billionaire. He didn't make any gold or platinum albums. They did just like, you know, like sell oil and fish and something, you know, like buy low, sell high, you know. And they become a billionaire like way before Taylor Swift, you know, who was actually making, you know, a product that people like and buy, which is crazy. Oh, I love it. Oh man, I wish I could show you the broken ice. I love you, Jana. You are wonderful. But you are a unicorn. You guys are unicorns. I love my unicorn people. Yes, Mona. Yes, that's exactly what you do. Listen to my playlist and let it run through the night. I have like an old iPad that the screen was starting to get really weird, and an old phone that like doesn't charge anymore, but you can connect it and it runs. And I was thinking like maybe just like buying a basic subscription to Spotify and just like making it play only my music. But I mean, even that is just so sad and weird and late stage capitalism. Oh, that's really sweet. It's really late stage capitalism, you know, plugging in an old phone, leaving it running somewhere in a corner of your house to get an extra €4 a month from Spotify, you know. Ugh. That's it's dark stuff, guys. That's dark. So now we're in Skagafjörður. Skagafjörður is much wider than Eyjafjörður, where I live. Skagafjörður is where I was raised as a child. And because Skagafjörður is much wider, it's much windier. It's so windy here, but I like it. I like the wind. Eyjafjörður doesn't have a lot of wind because it's very sheltered by mountains. Like all around it, it's mountains. But Skagafjörður is basically shaped like a U, just a big U. So the wind rushes north and south Skagafjörður. And the bottom half, the southern part of Skagafjörður is also very open. So the air just rushes down from the highlands into Skagafjörður. But if the wind is blowing from the east, where I was raised, it doesn't move. Ah, thank you, Hadler. Yona, this is my old neighbor, Yona. She lives on the next farm over from ours. She's one of the most beautiful people I know. Hey, Yona. Um, I miss living there a lot, you know. But we do have a little cabin. I should do a concert from the cabin uh, in the summer. Just a little streaming concert or something from the cabin. This is nice. People have been asking me if I should do a release concert in Iceland for the new album, and I have to say I love to, but I'm worried. You know, I'm just worried that it wouldn't work out. It's very expensive. I would hire a lot of artists, musicians, and beautiful artists, and I would of course want to pay everyone fairly, you know. But then I would have to fill a 400 people venue, and that hasn't happened for the last couple of years. It's very hard to get people to a 400 something venue when you're not in the mainstream, you know. I need to get some fluid. The only thing that is like strange about like driving with a camera like this is what you're seeing is, you know, human eyes just see things differently. I mean, I think human eyes can dynamically zoom into mountains and into like things that matter in the view, but all you get is like this flat view of the front of what I'm seeing. And I mean, the mountains, I can see the mountains so clearly up ahead, but you can't, and that's a shame. Because the mountains are the most beautiful part of this whole journey. Now we're driving past one of the saddest places. It's Örlygsstaðir. There was a battle here in the 1100s. 1100s? Yeah. Örlygsstaðabardagið. A lot of people died, and it was like an inconclusive, but like it's still very sad and yeah, kind of, yeah, Örlygsstaðir. This is red thing here. Like it was part of the civil war that we had. Oh, beautiful Sue. Yes, welcome. Örlygsstaðabardagið, the Örlygsstaðir battle was, yeah, one of the most like horrible battles in Iceland, because all they had were like stones and swords, and basically they threw stones at each other, and they had axes, and not like this. People always have like this, oh yeah, glorified idea of Vikings with the big axes and blah blah blah. But in this time, in the 1100s in Iceland, they basically fought with rocks and like this just shitty axes, like very like they didn't like cut you so much as just like bludgeon you to death with them. Because the metal we didn't have like steel or something like that. We just had like this bog iron that came from the bogs. So we had to take like peat from the bogs and work it, like heat it up, and then the peat bog iron was very like soft and not sharp or hard. It was pretty gnarly, you know, disgusting battles. And then in that time, just to save the effort, you know, the villains, you know, they burned, like they basically came in the night when everybody was sleeping, and they basically just burned the house, like the big houses. They just camped outside the house in the night with spears, and then they just burned the place down and killed the people as they were coming out, like naked. That was not very dignified, you know. And those were Christians. That was like a thing that Vikings didn't like doing so much. It was not very dignified. But this was how like Christians fought battles in Iceland in the 1200s. They would just burn the house down and kill you when you came out of the fire. It's not even an element of surprise. It's just like horribly disgusting. No. I don't know exactly what you're talking about. Beautiful documentary from Axel R. No. I'm a little lost. Sorry, Matti. Oh. Ugh. Are there any? No, wait. It's already nighttime in Australia. It's gonna be. I mean, I love touring and I love going to Australia. I haven't gone there for like 14 years. But I really don't like leaving my family for a long time. It just. Are you maybe not? Are you maybe talking about Ragnar Axelsson, Raxi, Matti? Ragnar Axelsson? Yeah, probably. I really just can't stand leaving my kids for more than a month. And like the worst thing is like when you're like 10 time zones away, there's no. Oh, there's automatic captions? That's funny. I didn't know there were captions. Yeah, when you're 10 time zones away, it really like there's no good way to connect, you know, with your family. It just becomes like a very confined thing, which is scary, you know. It's so beautiful. So nice to drive around. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to popping by in Reykjavik now and picking up a couple of boxes of my new album. Woo! Yeah, Ragnar Axelsson, there we go. I have a Tesla in front of me. And I'm just letting him drive just a little bit faster than I am. And I sometimes just catch up and then I just let him drive a little bit faster than me. So if the police have to give anyone a ticket, they will give them a ticket. But of course, we're not driving very fast. We're just driving like 100. So this is Varmalith, a little settlement built around hot springs. So it's a lot of like in the 20th century that started to become like a thing, building settlements around hot springs, or at least schools, because the kids were. It was considered safer to put the kids into schools for the winter, where there was they were sure to be warm and to have food and and security, because in the early 20th century in Iceland, when they started building with concrete and using plumbing and stuff, the first thing they built were these schools. Parmalhill. And it basically, because they didn't have a lot of roads or anything, like the kids were so much safer in these schools than on their farms in the winter. And it saved so many kids, I think, to be able to just be taken care of in these community schools. And they built a lot of schools just around hot springs and communities, because all of a sudden you can just like heat houses and not burn anything, just hot water. That was a game changer. Good morning, Paul. Great to see you. Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful drive. I'm driving south to Selfoss. It's a 6-hour drive. I don't know how long I will keep you guys on, but because I also just want to listen to an audiobook or something. But it's good to have a chat with you. If you have any questions, I had a rant earlier about the situation in the music business. And the funny thing is, like, when you're an artist, you get bombarded with ads for all these people that, like, all these services that they're just so gonna solve all your problems. Like, use my plan, do this, because this will solve all your problems. Get playlists on Spotify, do this. And it's all these scams that just trying to take money from artists. Only $49, only, for our mentor, blah, blah, blah program. It's all these terrible, like, grifter things. And I don't know, like, it's hard enough. It's just hard enough to be a musician and not to be, like, on top of being broke all the time. These people trying to take your last money. I think I'm just thinking about all my friends and all the people I know. Oh, hey, Katie. Awesome. So we're just coming up from Skagafjörður and we're going into the kind of area between Skagafjörður and Húnaflói, which is a really interesting place. Húnaflói is like a big bay of like cubs, like bear cubs, because they were like bears. Polar bears sometimes would drift in on big icebergs onto that. I have a question. Do you think with CDs and vinyls, music was often more appreciated than today when you can easily skip it on Spotify? Yes, Chris, I'm just going to put this up here. Completely. I mean, even for me, like, I bought, during COVID, my first stereo. I bought a vinyl player, speakers, an amp, and a CD player. And I've been listening to music again in this way that I love, that each album is a concept in and of itself. It is a piece of time, 45 minutes, 50 minutes, 44 minutes, 40 minutes time. that you are engaged just to listen to music, you know, and you listen to it from back to the end, and from the beginning to the end, and you just enjoy it differently. It's not because it sounds better, it's because it's not background, it's actual just enjoyment of music. Yeah, completely. So basically streaming has kind of cheapened the experience of music, enjoying music. It's everywhere, it's ubiquitous, it's everywhere, and that means it's kind of worthless now. Yes. Uh, um, so you respect it more. I don't think vinyl sounds better. I think it feels better, you know? It feels good. Because, like, you can't, like, just because something isn't real doesn't mean it's not real, you know? Like, it's just a different feel. People just, we have to be able to distinguish between just objective reality of things, and then our own our own input into the moment, the worth we put into it, the attention we give the music. You listen differently, and therefore you experience the music differently. And even if it would sound worse, objectively worse, you're enjoying it more because you're giving it, like, you're not passively listening to it, you're actively listening to it. And that means that you amplify the music, you amplify all the good parts of it. And that's what makes listening to CDs and vinyls better, in my opinion. That's the quality that makes it a higher quality of music. It is what you give. It is what it makes you give. It makes you give more. I don't want to have, like, that's why I don't like, it's completely the same thing. Okay, I really don't like playing streaming concerts just in front of a camera and I can't see the people I'm playing for, you know? There's a lot of people just do that. They just, artists that just sing and there's just a camera and they just, like, perform into the camera. And I think that's such a passive thing. It's there's no relation. That's why I love playing live in front of people, because then there's a feedback. There's a back and forth between us. And sometimes I have done it on Zoom, you know, like a Zoom concert where I can actually see the people, which matters a lot. But it's the same with it's what you put back into the music. And I think people that listen to my music on CD and vinyl are getting more out of it. Hey, yeah, hey Stephanie, yeah, thanks for hanging out. You know, thanks for being with us. Can't wait to give my new album to you. Over one more snowy heath. This is such a no man's land between Skagafjörður and Húnavatnssýsla. Húnaflói. Oh yeah, Húnaflói, as I was going to tell you, Húnaflói was the place where there was the only Icelandic naval battle in the 1100s. I think it's 1144 or something. I don't remember completely. Flóabardagi, the battle on the bay. And basically the guys sailed, I don't even know how they met, because it's a huge bay, and they were just like on these longboats, and they met in the middle of the bay and just like threw rocks at each other until they were tired, and then they sailed away from each other. Ah, Iceland, we suck so much, and we have all like, yeah, we're pitiful, man. And I like that. It gives us humility, you know. I'm fine with being like a little bit of a piece of shit. It's okay. It's part of being Icelandic. Like we've talked about, like that a lot of the time, at least in the 90s and 2000s, like in Iceland, like the coolest bands often came just from like some kind of shit town, middle of nowhere Iceland, just because they were like, they weren't kind of mud, like part of the whole blob that was the mainstream of the Icelandic music scene. They just came from their own reality, like what do you do in February in Þingeyri or whatever, Ísafjörður, just like you know, like Ísafjörður, and you just hang out and you play music and just like grunt, and you start singing songs about your grandmother and that she's a horse, and you know, and you take the ladle, hit yourself on the head songs, you know. And it's this weird grungy punk stuff aesthetic that it's just like comes from the fjords. And that's what I like. You know, and they call it krummaskuð. It means a raven's vagina. Those places, raven's crotch, krummaskuð. And I think a lot of the best things in Iceland actually come from the raven's crotch villages. Because like there, the people are kind of they just grunt more. It's more grunting. And grunts are good. Grunts and farts. So I think we're gonna have a bad connection somewhere around here as well. I might even just cut the stream pretty soon. But you can watch it. I might delete it in a couple of days. But if you have any more questions, just go ahead. Hello, Miles. Hi. How are you doing? So this is Blöndudalur I had there. There's a river goes into it called Blanda, which basically means mix, the mixed river. Blanda. And it basically is a river that is part glacial river and part clear water river, and then it gets mixed, and that's why they call it the mixed river. Yeah, big imagination right there, man. Don't call it whipped cream river or whatever, you know. Oh, here's a quick pointer for you. When you see something like glacial water, like clear glacial water, that's the weirdest thing. Glacial water is definitely not what you want to be drinking. You do not want to drink glacial water. Glacial water is muddy and toxic and shit, and it's got all of this clay and mud in it that melting glaciers, like a glacier is not a clear place, a white and clear place. There's a lot of, like in the summer, there's a lot of like clay and mud and sand and dust that blows over the highlands and settles on the melting glacier into it. And glaciers are basically the muddiest ice you can ever find. There's nothing clear about a glacier. So when you think about glacial water, that it's supposed to be so clear, that's the biggest, weirdest thing anyone can say about water. It's just mud. mud water. And what you want to be drinking is water from the deep springs, like old springs, where it's been going through the rocks for like 20,000 years, getting filtered by sediments and rocks, and all of the impurities get settled in the rocks rather than in the water. Oh shit, Miles, that's terrible. Oh my god, in a year everything got covered in toilet water. Oh my god. Ugh. Oh shit. I'm so sorry to hear this. I hope like it survived just getting clean. My worst experience, like, and I don't want to blame anyone. I played once for like one person in Zurich because there was a misunderstanding. The guy was a total pothead that like the promoter, and he said he had a club and la 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 in Zurich, and there was like 5,000 people on the email list and blah blah blah. And then when we showed up, it was just like this weird basement. And he said, "Oh, I forgot to send an email," and we were like, "What?" Yeah, I forgot to. I'm sorry. Yeah. So we had like one guy show up, a really wonderful guy showed up. And we've been friends ever since. And I played for him. It was like a one-person show. And I played for like an hour and a half. And we really bonded after that. And then that night, I stayed at the guy's house, and I let my booker that was traveling with me for a short time there, because she really wanted to kind of experience the venues and the blah blah blah. And it was like, normally I like to take a train, and she insisted that we take a car, and this was I get car sick, and I don't like driving cars. So I was car sick, I was tired, worst gig of my life, tra la la. And then we stayed at the promoter's house, and they just smoked weed all night and played PlayStation. And I let my booker have the bed because I was trying to be like a gentleman. And I stayed on like a air mattress that was leaking, and in like under the stairs in the living room where the guys were just smoking weed and playing PlayStation into the night. And then I had to wake up at 7 the next day, drive to the next gig. That was probably one of my worst. The other worst gig, I played in this squat in Hamburg. And this guy showed up, like this punk, and he really didn't like acoustic music, I guess. So he had a big dog with him, and he sicked his dog on me, like a big Shepherd. There was like 40 people in the audience, like a little squat thing. And then he just like, he held the leash of the dog exactly so, kind of, it was right in my face, right, like I can feel its teeth kind of touching my chin, and I kind of froze, and I just continued singing and playing, because I was still like, I thought, I'm not gonna let this guy fucking take my dignity right here. Like, I'm not gonna let him take everything away from me right here. And the funny thing was like, everybody was so afraid of this guy that nobody intervened. So the dog was just like barking in my face, and like like slobbering and like trying to bite at me for like 2 songs, and then the guy got bored and walked out. Oh, Any special food? Special food in the region I came from? Well, oh my God, Icelandic food is. I mean, it's. Well, what can we say, man? Like, Arctic. It's Arctic. We didn't have any vegetables. Not so much. Just like whatever we could scrounge, like in old times. So like traditional Icelandic food is not very colorful. It's very gray. Yeah, fish. Dried fish basically is my favorite. Dried fish with butter is my favorite traditional dish, like traditional food to eat. Of course, we have cured meat and smoked meat and stuff like that. I like that, but the fish more. I like dried fish a lot with butter. Yeah, a lot of foreigners they think it smells terrible, but hey, thanks Mona, thanks for hanging out. But I mean, it's an acquired taste. But once you get used to dried fish and start eating it, it's you never go back. You just love it. So, I think I might stop in Blundo's, and get some liquid for the windscreen. Fluid. Yeah. So now we're going down Blunderdalur. It's a vibrant farming community. Vibrant. Man, toilet water, like, oh my God. Yeah. Oh, I played once the Reeperbahn Festival, I think, in Hamburg. And there was a wonderful place, but they also got flooded. The basement was flooded, yeah, and there was like 60 centimeter, 2 feet, just layer of toilet water in the basement of the place. Well, thankfully I hadn't taken any gear down there, but like there was such a stink, and I was playing my gig, and the people were just like bearing with the stink in the place, which was kind of ugh. Thanks, Matty. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and thanks for being with me. Anyone has any more questions? I love answering questions. I'll try to answer them as honestly as I can. If I don't like the question, I'll just lie. I'll just lie and make something up. I haven't had to do it yet, but I might. Did you know, guys? Did you know? Like, you pay tax. People complain about their taxes, right? But you get most of it back. You get most of your taxes back in some kind of service. You get it back, through education. You get your taxes back through protection, through disciplined governance of your society. Through roads, through infrastructure. But you know what the real shit is? Interest. Just like financial cost. You never get anything back for interest. You pay probably 40% of your income after taxes. You pay it into interest. And you don't get a penny back from that. And the funny thing is, not just your house and your stuff, but also when you pay to the electric company for the electricity, 30 to 40% of what you're paying is the electric company's interest. That's crazy. And it's the same with everything. It's the same with the food you buy. It's the same with all of these things. All of these companies have like financial, like interest payments to pay, and it becomes 30 to 40% of the cost of whatever you're buying is the company's interest. And nobody ever gets anything back from that. And it's just like, it's basically trickle up economics. It's just like a vacuum cleaner taking whatever's left in your wallet and just like cleaning you out. So instead of complaining about taxes, we should maybe look at interest rates. All right. Paul Caterback asks, how much harder is it living in Iceland as a touring musician? Well, Paul, I'm just gonna put this back on there so you know what I'm at. It's fucking hard. But I mean, for every tour I have to do, it's 2 extra travel days just to get to and from my home. And I have to leave like the day before the tour starts. I have to leave Akureyri to get to Reykjavik, to get to the airport, to leave for the tour. And then when I come home, I have to also get myself to Akureyri, which is like a bit of a journey. But yeah, so like there's always like this fixed basic cost of getting myself on tour, which is something like around $1,200 or $1,000 maybe, basic, you know, plus 2 lost days. And then of course there's the thing about like, I can't play America. It's completely impossible for me now. There's the visa process is too complicated. It's too much of a hassle. You have to pay $1,000, $1,500 or something in all kinds of fees, and they just might reject you like the day before you leave. They might just make up their mind, and that's stress that I just cannot abide. You know, like I can't do that. So that's why I tour in Europe, in Schengen, where I don't need a visa to tour. But still, you know, it's not a local market. I'm always a visitor. I'm always coming as a guest. But I have to say, I feel very welcome when I come to Europe to play. Very well taken care of. Everything is like, it's the most European venues are just so friendly and gracious, you know. Always food, always a place to stay, almost always like a guarantee of money, you know. So it's very artist friendly. Europe has, like, with all its conservative kind of attitude towards a lot of things, technology and stuff, that's actually, it's been what has kept Europe from becoming like a definitely artist hostile country like America, you know, and England I think is a little bit artist hostile as well. But the people in England are very friendly, I think. But of course, when I say Europe, I mean, of course, like the mainstream European countries and Scandinavia and stuff. And of course, touring in Iceland is hard. I mean, you're playing villages. It's more like a social service. You play the villages, you play for maybe 15, 20 people maximum, you know, at the gig. I have met Steinunn Sigurðardóttir once or twice. Yeah, she's an amazing writer and a beautiful, charming human being. But she's living in Berlin, yes? Oh, she lives in Selfoss. Oh, I thought she was living in Berlin. I don't remember. I met her a couple of times. Yeah, she's absolutely wonderful. So Blönduós is one of these towns that I really love in Iceland, but they are a great example of missed opportunities and kind of a little bit of a blunder. Blunderos. Politically, like, I think one of the main problems I have with Iceland is like the ring road a lot of the times goes right through villages rather than going around them, which makes the villages always defined by the ring road. And the ring road is so, it just, it kind of fucks up the life of the village. It makes the village always like very, you know, all these cars driving through, like, and not many of them are just like stopping to visit. They just might be picking up gas or something. It's just, there's a lot of traffic for nothing. You know what I mean? These cars aren't even doing anything. They're just creating extra noise and danger for kids and kind of disincentivizing walking in the village. When do I come to Switzerland? I think April, May, I will have some gigs in Switzerland. They should be up on my website. But I will be putting up some more gigs in the next couple of days. In September, October gigs. But they are not all booked, so I can't put them all up. Thank you for asking, Ursula. So, yeah, Blönduós. So when you drive to Blönduós, it's like Blönduós. It feels like, you know, like it's the name of a town. It's one of the few town names in Iceland that are actually like sound like you can sing it. You know, Blönduós. Welcome to Blönduós. You don't want to say welcome to Skagastrand or Tálknafjörður. You know, like Egilsstaðir. Like that's not. It's not singable place names, even if the places are beautiful. Well, Selfoss. Yeah, Selfoss sounds like something to sing. America is so privileged. You guys have all these like Idaho and Omaha, you know, Massachusetts, like California. Bob, I really want to, but like, yeah, I wish I could. It's just so expensive right now. Which of my songs do I think I should try to learn on guitar today? Oh, Hup is not singable. Which song should you try to learn today? I would say Wanderlust. Wanderlust is good, Miles. Yes. I don't know. Where are you based, Miles? Where are you? Again. Is that England? Wanderlust is always nice. No. Toronto, oh my god, I miss Toronto, man. The best food city in the world. Man, so many good restaurants in Toronto. Ah, yeah, thanks, man. So, we made it. We made it to Blönduós. Yeah, I should come play. Oh, I have an offer to come play Canada in 2025. And I should make a stop in Toronto as well. I'm just gonna get the fluid. All right, guys. Scooby deep. All right, let me see. Settings. Hold on. Ooh. And there we go. Hi. All right, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna have to cut the stream now and go do my thing. Ah, Bob, I'd love to see you guys in Toronto. It's easier for Icelanders to play Canada because Canada and Iceland just have an understanding. So it's no problem for us to go play there. I don't know. It's nice. So I'm just gonna go in, get the stuff, come back out. Love you, man. Bob and Paul, I love you guys. Love you all. Thanks for hanging out. Right. Down with neoliberalism. Bye.